You waited for it, and here it is. The countdown continues on my top 20 Stephen King books ranked. We're getting to the halfway point, and what I've got for you today is 15 through 11. Let's get started. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Zach with Zach's Books, and today I've got for you my top 20 Stephen King books ranked, numbers 15 through 11. If you have not seen 20 through 16, take a look at it up here. There are some good ones on there, and I've got some good ones today. I've got one that's probably going to cause controversy between some of you guys. That's just because I A, have not talked about it, and B, it is not on my Goodreads. So you'll know which one it is. We'll get to it. Without further ado, we'll start at number 15. His first published novel, Carrie. This book was really good. I enjoyed it as like a first book for an author to write. I really enjoyed it. It just doesn't stack up to the impact that I really had with the other books. Meaning, like, this one was not as meaningful to me as the other ones on the list that are coming. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was creepy. It had, like, that terror aspect when all hell breaks loose and she causes terror on the whole entire town and city, blowing stuff up, lighting things on fire. Kind of like Charlie from Firestarter. But obviously, she came first, Carrie White. I mean, I really recommend this book. I think I gave it 4 stars. Goodreads down below. Check it out. But that is number 15, Carrie. Coming in at number 14, a lot of people actually did not like this because it felt like it was not a necessary story to tell. But that is Dr. Sleep, which is the sequel to The Shining. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good book. I thought it made sense because the lingering question that out of all the Stephen King books, besides, what happened to the kids from It, is what happened to Danny Torrance. Him, Wendy, and Dick escape. They get away, but what happens from there? And he went along and wrote this book saying exactly what happens next. I really enjoyed it. I thought the redemption for Jack Torrance was great. If you have not read this, be wary. I might have a spoiler in this. I'm going to try not to, though. But I love how Jack gets redeemed in this. I'm not going to tell you how, but Jack is mentioned in this, and he redeems himself, in my opinion, because Jack is probably my all-time favorite Stephen King character ever. And obviously, he was the bad guy in the first one. Started out really good, and the hotel got to him. He turned out to be a bad person, but I absolutely loved him. And this story kind of gives him some redemption. You're growing up with Danny, sort of, and now he's an adult. Rose the Hat is part of this bad group of people who shine as well. I always forget what they call themselves. The True Knot. And so they're after this girl named Abra, who's got the same powers as Danny, and I actually think she's a little more powerful than Danny. I don't know if they mentioned that in the book or not. And so they come to find her, and they eventually meet, and Rose the Hat's like, well, where have you been? And Dan's like, I've been laying low. And that's how none of them have been able to find him, because he kind of hid his shine from everybody. Eventually Dick dies, and because like I said before, the Shining movie, Dick dies because of Jack. In the book, he survives, but obviously old age gets to him in this, and he teaches Danny about a lockbox kind of thing where when the evil spirits of the Overlook Hotel come for him when he's not there, think of a lockbox and lock him in it. And I think it comes full circle in the book too, that he, I'm not going to say what he uses the lockboxes for towards the end, but it's useful. But yeah, I really liked it. I think I gave this one, I think this was a 5. Could have been a 4.5. Goodreads down below. Check it out. But yeah, number 14, Dr. Sleep. Coming in at number 13, no, this did not crack my top 10. That is Salem's Lot, his second published novel. This one also really didn't 100% do it for me, kind of like how Carrie didn't. I liked the whole vampire aspect. It was really creepy and disturbing. But overall, just wasn't a top tier one for me. I know a lot of people put this in their top 10, sometimes their top 5. And there are some people who have this as their number 1. But I just really couldn't get into the story as much as I would have liked to have. Once I read all of them, I'm going to reread them, and this list is going to change probably a lot. So maybe the next time I do the rereads, this might crack the top 10. But as of right now, it's sitting at number 13. It was a good book. I really did like it. I'm pretty sure this was another 4-star. But there are some parts in the middle where I felt like it kind of dragged, and I just wanted to get to the action of the vampire stuff. And there's some parts where it's just kind of, why is this here? And the eeriness from the window scene from the little kid who like bangs on his old friend's window and like takes him, and it's creepier in the movie, but the book does a really good depiction of it, and I thought it was really eerie and creepy. So, Salem's Lot, it was a good book, just not top tier for me, which might come as a surprise for some of you guys. But yeah, number 13. Alright guys, so number 12 is the one that's going to cause controversy, I think, because I've not talked about it, and it's not on my Goodreads. I read this back in high school, and I do remember it fairly well. Obviously, I've seen the movie with Tom Hanks and Michael Clark Duncan, but this book, number 12, The Green Mile, this was a really good book and also a really good film. I really enjoyed this book. It was just so in-depth and detailed, and you feel bad for the main guy, John Coffey. He's on death row for the murder of 2 little girls, and in the book you come to realize that he might not have actually done it. He's got a good gift. He's like a gift from God. And ideally what he can do is he heals people. Tom Hanks' character, I can't think of his name. Edgecombe. Paul Edgecombe, which is Tom Hanks' character. He plays one of the death row officers in the book. And he's got like a urinary infection or something like that. And what ends up happening is Coffee actually heals him. He he heals him, so he's actually able to go, and it fixes everything. He's able to make love with his wife that night because of how excited he is and how excited she is. And then the warden's wife is also really sick. I think it's cancer, and they sneak him out to go to the warden's house, and he heals her. And so he also has got the ability to show what actually happened when he was accused of murdering the 2 girls, and you find out some interesting stuff. The ending quote in this is also really good. I really like it. I'm going to find it for you, and I want to read it for you. So this is the last line in the book, and I really like this. We each owe a death. There are no exceptions. I know that, but sometimes, oh God, the Green Mile is so long. The Green Mile is ideally, the floor is kind of like a greenish color, and it's like their last walk to the electric chair. That's why they call it the Green Mile. And sometimes that walk is really long to when you're going to that chair and you're going to die. And that's ideally what I think he's getting at with this quote. And I thought that was really cool, and it was a really nice image to think about in your head. And this came out as 6 serial novels, 6 serial little books, and I have those in paperback form. That's a good one, so I just got to get to it. They only came out in paperback. But I read this in paperback when I was in high school as just a little book to read, and this book is terrific. When I reread it, when I do all my King reads during this thing, this is probably going to be a guaranteed 5-star, and it might even crack my top 10 when I reread it. So who knows? But as of right now, The Green Mile sitting at number 12. All right, coming in at number 11. This book is a touchy subject for me because I've never been able to find the hardcover. I've been screwed out of it twice. But it is The Dark Tower, Book 3, The Wastelands. This is the first Dark Tower book in this. Nope, the second Dark Tower book to make my top 20. There's one more after this. I really enjoy this one because it's the journey, like, it's starting to move. It gets going. So the first one, the gunslinger, you meet Roland and Jake and all this. And then the second one, you meet Susanna and Eddie. I don't think Oi gets into the series until book 4. I could be mistaken, but he could be in this one. Off the top of my head, I don't remember. But ideally, you're getting into their journey towards the Dark Tower finally in book 3. There's some action scenes in here. They train. Roland trains Eddie and Susanna to be gunslingers. It's a really cool experience. And at the end, they get on Blaine the Train, which is a train that kind of gives them riddles. And he pretty much tells them, you got to solve my riddles or I'm going to kill you. And so I think what they end up having to do at the end is they got to come up with a riddle that Blaine has to solve. And if he can't solve it, he lets him live. But if he guesses them, then they keep going. And eventually, I think what gets him is Eddie just becomes a smartass. And, just really pisses Blaine off to where, I think he kills himself, but the gunslinger and the quartet end up surviving. So I don't know if it's they get there and then Blaine just kind of implodes himself, or all I know is Blaine ends up dying, which is the train that they're riding on. And everyone else survives. They got Oi at this point, yeah. Oi's in this one. I think he appears halfway through the book. But Wastelands is a really good book for me. I really enjoyed it. And I really enjoyed the whole series. I can't wait to do the reread of this because I already want to. But what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to read all 8 of them continuously. I'm not going to read Gunslinger, then a few books, then this and that. I'm just going to read them all in a row, so that way I can get the whole journey, one shot. Probably take me a week or two, probably a month, figure it out. But Wastelands, I really enjoyed it. This got, I think, 5 stars from me. Get up in the Goodreads down below. But yeah, Wastelands, Dark Tower Book 3 comes in at number 11. Alright guys, so those were books 15 through 11 in my top 20 Stephen King ranking list. Stay tuned for the top 10 coming up soon. I'm going to be having 10 through 6 coming up. I believe we're going to have it up next week. Might be sooner. Don't quote me on it. I'm trying to do this for the month of September, my top 20. So stay tuned for that. What do you think of these 5 books? Where do these rank in your listings? Let me know down in the comment section down below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.